G'day guys, my name is Lord Tomo. Welcome again to another Sonic the Hedgehog toy item collect review. As you know, I'm Lord Tomo with the blue stick here. Good old Sonic the Hedgehog, who has dropped my item that I am about to review, which is none other than a Sonic the Hedgehog finger puppet with bubble bath thingo. For those of you who, it's actually not thingo, but you get what I'm saying. For those of you who've been keeping in touch with the reviews that I more or less do, or those who are just new, I did review another item exactly the same. The only difference is it was a Knuckles version. This is the Sonic version, which I actually got recently. Now, a little back history just before I continue. This is a combination, or not a combination, this is kind of a trifecta collector, if that's even a word to describe this. Basically, in this series, or in this little finger puppet, little, thingo, there's basically been released 3. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously. There was a Knuckles, where if you want to check out, it's one of my earliest reviews back in the day. And of course, there was a Sally icon. There you go. So there were 3 in the actual series itself. I have managed to obtain the second one out of the trifecta. Unfortunately, I do not have the Sally one. So guys, if you have it in its entirety, whatnot, and you're willing to sell, hey, hit me up. I'm more than happy to obviously make a decent offer in that regards. So let's more or less talk about the packaging, about the history, thereabouts. Basically, the packaging is exactly the same for all 3. The only thing different is the actual finger puppet itself. So this is the actual there's no technically front. Well, there is a front if you class this as the back, but this is the front. You have good old Sonic the Hedgehog running what appears to be a cliff, and you have a little bumper there. You have the retro, obviously, check its mark from the good old Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive days. That is a ring. He's not a Halo. He has not died yet. God forbid that ever happening. On the actual other side, you have good old, once again, not Amy Rose, was I better say Amy Rose, Sally icon. There you go. There's another ring. There looks like to be a kind of planet there, Pluto maybe. She's on top of another little bumper thing. Check it there as well. The actual back, just like a red Mars or red moon, whatever you call it, and more checkered. On the other side, you have good old my fave Knuckles the Echidna. Once again, you have bumpers, little things and thing. And you just have the bottom, which is checkered, and the top where it says Sonic the Hedgehog finger puppet with bubble bar. And yeah, so look, the overall boxing of this is pretty awesome. That's kind of the reason, one of the main reasons I wanted to collect this piece as in its entirety, with the actual item itself and the boxing. It's because the actual box itself personally is one that's really captivating, in the sense that though it's pretty obscure in the way it looks, you have good old Sonic there, Sally, and you have Knuckles. The actual background itself kind of blends in, so as you can see the actual mountains and whatnot, and you can follow through, and the other side. So it's pretty much a one-piece unit, for the better of the word, and obviously the checkered is just through and through. The only thing I find extremely weird about this is the various planets, if you can really call them, or whatever they are. I don't know where they were going with them. I'm guessing they were trying to be all trippy and hippie with that. I'm guessing. Not entirely sure. Now, most likely this item was more or less released 1993-ish, 1994, when the good old Sonic Sat AM Sonic the Hedgehog was more released in the US and Australia, and obviously the UK and most likely Europe. So they're more or less trying to capitalize on the whole, Sonic and Sally icon sort of aspect of it. So they released 3, that obviously Sonic, Knuckles, and Sally. So yeah, that's the actual back, and that's the actual history of this actual little bubble bath. Let's check it out. It is obviously empty. When I got this, I wouldn't have expected to be full of it, but why not? Now, this is the actual thing. The only difference of the Knuckles one is it came with a little plastic, but come on, who's going to authenticate that or anything like that? And that's pretty much it. The only difference between obviously the whole packaging and everything is just the little finger puppet itself. Now we're just going to take it off just temporarily, just so I can show you the bottle briefly. You have good old Sonic the Hedgehog there, clapping his hand, good old Knuckles, Sally, who I am not a big fan of because she's a bit demented in my personal opinion, serves no real purpose. But anyway, so they appear to be in the special zone. If you really want to get super technical, you could probably say it's in a sub-zone within the Sonic comic universe of Archie. Yeah, he does his justice. Alright, so that's that. Pretty nice, pretty standard, nothing too crazy in that sense, just a bunch of do not do. Obviously, just like any bottle, you just take it out. It appears to have all gooey white stuff. Smells pretty nice. Smells pretty nice. So yeah, that's the bottom. And obviously the finger puppet itself is good old Sonic the Hedgehog. What makes it a finger puppet? You put your finger, hey, I'm swimming in the water. Yeah, I am a loser there. So yeah, so this is pretty awesome. You have good old, you know, Sonic, very retro. He kind of has a more mature look, in my personal opinion, compared to the chubby, you know, younger version of it. This kind of doesn't look like, I don't know, it's not modern Sonic, but it's not exactly. I think this is more, my honest opinion, more of a mature sort of looking, you know, modern Sonic. Pretty nice, pretty classy in that sense. Not too crazy on the whole style, but it's there. It's nice. So you have his good old little ears pointing, his eyes very retro, his nose, his cheek, his hands are crossed. Weird looking hand posture. The back, and you just have the spikes. So pretty nice. It says copyright to 1995, so I'm guessing it was more or less released 1995, thereabouts. Pretty standard. So yeah, obviously this was designed for little kids or adults if you're into this. I guess I'm not. Who knows? So the idea is the kid would get his hair washed by the little Sonic, and you know, the kid could play around with the Sonic and blah blah blah. I know I had a few toys back in the day when I was a little kid, but I never had Sonic, so which is pretty nice. Now, how much did I get this for? Obviously, actively seeking this, you know, price was not necessarily an option for me, so I think I got it for roughly about $40, I think, thereabouts. $50 plus shipping in total, I think. A decent grab, you know. It really depends on the collector themselves. In terms of rarity, I think the Sally one is way more rare than the Sonic one. I see the Sonic one pop up more often and knuckles than the actual Sally. So look, I'm probably going to give this maybe 6 stars out of 10. Let me tell me what your thoughts on this, if you know, if you agree, disagree, or whatnot. But 6 stars out of 10, roughly about $40. I wouldn't spend too much on it. You know, it's way better than some of the other crap that I got, which, you know, I would show you, but I don't have it handy with me, which was another shampoo, but oh, that was just crap in a half. But look, yeah, it's definitely something worth to check out. You know, guys, thank you so much for checking out my reviews. Let me know what your thoughts are, and remember, speed on, and till next week, take care, guys.